Of course. But what are we going to do with the fact that in Pasha Kitabo, when we read the Moshe Rabbeinu tells us about the kinds of things that would happen if Bnei Yisrael deviate from Chas Shalom, he ends up with saying, Tachas asher lo avadetos Hashem Elokecha b'simcha. Which means that if a person does everything, which means that if a person does everything that a Jew is supposed to be doing and keeps all the mitzvahs, but he doesn't do it for simcha, it's a major dereliction. You know, a number of years ago, remember that I was walking to the shul on Pesach morning, and ahead of me was walking a young boy, was walking his dog, and he was whistling a happy tune, and every once in a while he gave a little dance. And I stopped and thought about this better. About the fact that, look, that young man is very happy. But just in the past few days, in addition to the daily mitzvahs of tefillin, and tzitzis, and hamazon, mitzvahs d'oraisa, and here I have, the last 2 days, a mitzvah of bil chometz, and last night a mitzvah of sipotzias mitzrayim, and achilus matzah, and achilus mocha, and then yalba kosos. And I had all these mitzvahs, and I'm not dancing. That young fellow's happy he's dancing, and I'm not. And yet, I say every morning, Ashreinu Matem Kengel Manan Yolenu. But this is just lip service? Where's the Ashreinu for not dancing? And since then, I've been bothered by this idea of Tachas Hashalom, Adatas Hashem Elokecha b'simcha. And gradually I began to realize, and this is what I'd like to share with you, that you have to think of simcha in more than one way. Yes, simcha is happiness, simcha is joy, and simcha is in Purim, it's in Pesach, in Chassan, it's in Bamitzvahs, in all the wonderful things, can you? But I came across the Gemara Brachos, but the Gemara says, that a person has to praise HaKadosh Baruch Hu for the bad as well as for the good, but that there are two different brachos. For the good he says, Baruch Atay V'Ametim, for the bad he says, Baruch Atay Nemes. And then the Gemara says that when he says the Baruch Atay Nemes, he should say it with simcha. And you know, the Torah does not ask the impossible. How is it possible to ask of a person who has suffered a severe reversal, a tragedy, a loss, that he should say B'Lefei Nemes b'simcha? It just doesn't make sense. So Rashi HaKodesh comes to the rescue, and Rashi gives a perush on simcha, and he says, B'Lev Shalem. Now, usually when we think of simcha, we think of joy, and Rashi says, here in this particular Gemara, simcha is not referring to joy. Simcha is referring to lev shalem, the fact that a person can accept a tragedy, that can accept what happened to him, the lev shalem with trust in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So we have already another meaning of simcha, not the usual one. Then I came across the writings of the great commentary of Shimshon Hirsch. Imagine that Shimshon Hirsch has a shita that if two words of Lashon Kodesh seem to be very close, they must have some sort of relationship. And he points out that the word Someach. And the word someach, to grow, are very close. Only one tiny little difference. Someach. And he says the reason for that is because growth is simcha. Referring, of course, to spiritual. Now, it's very possible that a person who is growing spiritually may not happen to be elated at the time. But that's a new concept of simcha. It's also possible that we can understand some terms from understanding their opposites. We can identify because we know what choshek is. We can identify bitter because we know what sweet is. My father's Chanavocha used to tell a story about a person who was a peasant who was sentenced to 25 years of hard labor. And he was put into a dungeon, and his hands, his wrists were shackled to the handle of a massive wheel which was in the wall. And all day, all of his waking hours, he had to turn this massive wheel, day in and day out, for 25 years. And sometimes he would think, I wonder what I'm doing. Maybe I'm grinding grain. Maybe I'm bringing up water for irrigation. You know, although 25 years is a long time, eventually 25 years passed. And when they took the shackles off of him, the first thing he did is he ran around to the other side of the building to see what there was there. And he was horrified to see there was nothing there. There was just a wheel in the wall. And he collapsed. 25 years of hard labor for nothing. Now, if the worst feeling of the earth is futility, then simcha is the opposite. And simcha is accomplishment. So that when one accomplishes something, one is in simcha. One is elated or euphoric or joyous. But simcha has another meaning in addition to being joy. Simcha, in addition to being joy, simcha means accomplishment is not being accomplishing because we see the results. You know what the Times says, when you see him at shop, see him at Gula, and I don't mail him, the confidence out, the hate my mail and beta the confidence out. You know what the Times says, what do you mean? The person who's a bricklayer does not get paid for it. And the person who's a tailor does not get paid for his work. Of course they're accomplishing something. And the Times says, no. They are only accomplishing something if their work leads to a product. But if a tailor were to take a piece of cloth and all day put in stitches, and not do anything with it, it never becomes a garment. No one's going to pay him for it. It's not the work that he gets paid for, but the work that results in a garment. Not more merely when we get the common stock, even when there's no product. Simply being oisik and tighter, we get us a hot. Even though we may not see a product of Horaya. The Pasha of Ben Soga Gemara. The Gemara says, there never was a case of Ben Soga Gemara, there never will be a case. So what do we have to learn the halacha for? The Roy Shel Kados Chal. You're never going to apply it. It'll never be a product. But the process is the work for which we get started. And the truth that you have to say that. Now we say in the Shemon Esrei, what is the excuse of Avraham Avinu? Ki yadati v'asher yitzar v'esbono v'espeso yachshav v'shamu derech Hashem v'asesot v'mishpot. Hashem says, I love Avraham Avinu because he is going to instruct his children after him. Fine. How good a job did he do? One son, Yitzchak, out of 8. Shmuel and the Bnei Ketura were failures. 1 out of 8. And we say, give us the schus of Avraham. Can you imagine a factory that's producing automobiles, right? And 85% are no good? The factory would close down. Avram Avinu is not judged by the process, by the product. Avram Avinu is judged by the process. Ki yadati v'asher yitzav. What about Yitzchak? 50% failure. Yaakov and Esav is Yerusha. So why are we asking for this chus of Yitzchak? Because Yitzchak did what he was supposed to do. The fact that Esav turned out the Talmud Shlagel isn't his fault. So we see that it is not the product that is the accomplishment, but the work that we put into it. With or without a product, that is accomplishment, and it's the opposite of futility, and therefore it is silver.